Hello everybody, and just here and welcome back to Yofukashi no Uta, Call of the Night, episode 12, the penultimate one, because as we know, there's still one more episode waiting for us, the finale, and I'm honestly wondering what's the finale gonna be. Perhaps today's episode is gonna give us some hints in that direction. First things first, a little bit of safekeeping, housekeeping. This video is late from my usual schedule, terribly sorry for that, but I've been sick the whole week, essentially. Thankfully, it wasn't the plague, it was something else entirely, but I was basically out of commission with a sore throat, clogged nose, clogged ears. Well, my nose is still a little bit runny at times, but at least I can speak without my throat absolutely killing me. So I'm gonna be catching up to what I didn't record throughout the week, and today is well one of those catch-up days. Why not yesterday? Even though I released Overlord episode, I slept the entirety of yesterday. I think, or Friday. I don't know, the days are a blur, but I slept a lot. But thanks to that, I'm better now. So, one more thing. This season is slowly ending, so expect in the coming weeks, perhaps next week, perhaps the week after, we're gonna have a live stream where I'm gonna take a look at the upcoming anime of the upcoming season, so you might want to subscribe, click the bell, or join my Discord to be notified of whenever I'm gonna stream that. And with that out of the way, let's talk about the previous episode. Episode 11 of Yofukashi no Uta, was fairly significant. Not much has happened quantitatively, but a lot has happened quality-wise, or importance-wise, should I say. One thing. Yeah, generally speaking, it was pretty much one thing of importance that happened in the previous episode, but it was a thing of big importance. Because sure, Kou meeting that detective lady, that was a little bit of fluff. Kou and his friends going around the school and reminiscing a little, having fun, laughing, taking photos. That was fun and fluffy and all that. But the meat of yesterday's episode was the discovery of the vampire. The feral vampire is how I'm gonna refer to that person. He wasn't like feral in the sense of being animalistic, of being just purely driven by instinct, by hunger and whatnot. On the contrary, he kept to himself throughout the years, suppressing the hunger out of fear of hurting someone. He didn't want to do that. He didn't want to attack people and suck their blood. So he kept to himself, kept his urges suppressed, and shut himself in that classroom. So it's hard to call him feral from that angle, but he was feral from the angle in the meaning that he wasn't socialized. He didn't know what the hunger is. He didn't know what a vampire is. He didn't know of the existence of vampires. He didn't have the tools, the knowledge, the help, the support to deal with him being a vampire in a healthy, quote unquote, way. Right? Because if Kou were to become a vampire, eventually, he will have the whole system of support, like even disregarding his friends, Nazuna and the other vampire girls. They would teach him everything about being a vampire, how to spot prey, how to drink blood, how to drink blood in a way where you don't hurt the person you're drinking the blood of, so that they're none the wiser after you do that. Right? They would teach him everything, all the rules of being a vampire, all the societal norms of a vampire society, etc., etc., etc. Meanwhile, this teacher, only had his urges, only had his instinct to work with. Whoever turned him into a vampire just bailed, and he was left with no help, no information, no support, no nothing. From what he knows, he's a monster that would go out and attack and kill indiscriminately. Because nobody told him that there is another way, that there is a way to get the blood in a consenting way. Well, more or less consenting way. That's why I'm gonna call him a feral vampire. We also got a little bit of information when it comes to vampire mythos, I'm gonna call it. Vampire powers, the whole supernatural thing that's around them. We know that silver apparently can still hurt them, although not silver alone. Silver alone hurts them, but sunlight plus silver kills them. Sunlight alone is a non-issue, as Nazuna has shown us. Silver and sunlight, that kills. So that's interesting. That's interesting because do you need like two factors? Or do you need silver plus something? Or is it specifically silver and sunlight? Or how does it work? But we know that vampires can be killed, and we know that some of this mythology around vampires hasn't been subverted. Because it's a very common trope, very common thing to do in vampire media in general, to subvert the mythology. That, oh yeah, they can eat garlic, they just get bad heartburn after they eat it, but besides that, not much. Yeah, sunlight doesn't affect them, but they get tanned really easily and they can get burned. Like, not burned to ashes, but they get sore skin and it flakes off. Like, silver doesn't affect them, but they just don't like it. They prefer gold. You know, those kind of things. It's very common. In this case, I was fully seeing the same subversion happening, but apparently not entirely. It's a subversion of a subversion, you could say, and that's cool. Another curious thing is that if a vampire doesn't drink blood for, what was it, 10 years? Something in that ballpark. They die. So technically, a vampire can suppress their hunger for up to 10 years. A vampire has to feed at least once every 10 years. That's interesting. That's important. There's a lot of timing around vampires in Yofukashi no Uta, right? As I mentioned in the previous episode, 10 years time that you have to drink blood, 1 year time limit, or you cannot be a vampire. All that jazz, all that stuff is very, very time related, very time limited. And that's curious. One more curious thing is that the dude that the Gyadu vampire turned into her offspring disappeared, apparently. He didn't see it fit to participate in regular society. He just vanished. His friends, his family have no clue where he's gone. That's interesting. Was it his choice? Or was it him doing that pretty much unconsciously? What I mean by that is he likes the life of a vampire so much that he kind of forgot that he has family and friends. Is it some vampire rules that prohibit you from interacting with people that you used to know, or what the deal is there? We also know that the detective lady, she's not quite a vampire hunter, but she kinda is. So we know that there is some element of danger there. So far, Yofukashi no Uta was very, very slice of lifey. No real danger, right? It was mostly in characters' heads. It was mostly psychological. All the conflict was on an emotional level, psychological level. Even when Nazuna and the Gyaro vampire fought, she ripped off her arm and the arm just was reattached like it's no big deal. This time, there's a danger. We know that there are ways to kill a vampire and that there are people who know those ways. And that gives us a little bit of tension. Now, I fully expect them to not entirely go back to that for an extended period of time. I can see the previous episode being a complete switch from the psychological slice of life to some battle shonen or whatever, but I can see the frequency of danger slowly and slowly and slowly increasing as we progress. Perhaps not through the anime, because we have this episode and the next one, and that's it, far as we know. But in the original manga, I can see the change being slow and gradual, but still happening. Today's episode, I have full expectations of being a wind down episode. I don't think anything of particularly huge significance is gonna happen. I don't expect particularly much tension. I expect kinda going back to the slice of lifey things, some wacky shenanigans with Nazuna. Perhaps some heavier moments as well, as Kou has his doubts as to what a vampire truly is, because so far he knew vampires as those social creatures that have the wacky characteristic of having to drink blood, but besides that, they're just humans. Now he witnessed a monster, not a human. So that's gonna have him questioning. That's gonna be interesting. And I've already been talking for 12 hours, yeah, I wish, for 12 minutes. So I'd say that's enough of me talking, and let's do some more talking. With your subs, you're gonna need them to sync up your own copy of Yofukashi no Uta sound. I'm gonna need it in turn to hear what's going on. I'm gonna zoom it out a little. Okay, just a week more, or maybe 2 weeks tops, and I'm gonna get a proper camera, and I'm not gonna have issues adjusting my fucking phone every now and then. Okay, with all that out of the way, support me on Patreon Throne if you want monetarily. If you want me to maybe not have to work for a camera and just live off of YouTube, that would be the dream, and you can help that monetarily, of course, on Patreon or Throne. And if you don't want to spend any money but still want to help me, help the channel, share my content, spread the word, it really does help the channel grow a lot. And now, with that out of the way, we can start watching Yofukashi no Uta Call of the Night, episode 12, the penultimate one, in 3, 2, 1, go. Go. Yeah, questioning. Why'd she single Mahiru out? Yeah, the vampires you know. But there seem to be other kinds. Okay, straight into the OP. I'll be honest, I fully expected them to just omit the OP this time around because of the bit of a heavier atmosphere, but they don't omit their OPs and EDs, do they? They created something amazing, and by God, they're gonna use it. I haven't seen that many seasonal anime this time around. Haven't seen like Licorice and all the other stuff. But this, from what I've seen, this is the opening of the season, like hands down, the best one, best opening, best ending. If there's anything that's in your opinion better, then do let me know. But I highly doubt you'd be correct on that. Yeah, here's her in the opening. Just a silhouette to not spoil her existence, her appearance, and her significance. Losing it. Okay. And Nazuna immediately knows that something's up. I like it. There's no, like, hiding and beating around the bush. No, just straight up. Something's wrong, tell me about it. And he tells about it. Perfect. Amazing. Yeah, but not to that degree. I love that he's not hiding anything. Such a breath of fresh air, isn't it? Or was it the time limit of 10 years that's been up coincidentally at the same moment? Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't be? He's undressing, she's undressing, why not? Yeah, if you understand your fear, you can manage it. Understanding is the key to having control of your emotions, experiences, and everything else. I mean, that's the basis of like cognitive behavioral therapy. Once you know what's up, you can manage it. The camera is hanging for a long time on it. Yeah. I mean, they were in a plain view. Teach me, Master Lecher. Oh, Mahiro knows? I mean, yeah, but it was feral. No, not quite. He wants to be a socialized vampire, not a feral one. I mean, it's kind of like a difference of a wolf attacking you in the woods, hungry, hungry wolf, and a chihuahua you have at home. One is gonna hurt you, the other is gonna bark some and bite your ankles. I mean, that's a legit question. Yeah, what do you gain from that? Yeah. I mean, sure, but that freedom is gonna end eventually. He needs a hug! He just needs to hug someone. I mean, come the fuck on. I know that feeling. I hug someone like once a year. You kinda yearn for that. Especially in a situation like that. Oh, they're hanging around that course. Important detail, there's nobody home. So I'm assuming his parents are working long hours. Looking for porn? Of course. Okay, more deeds. More deeds about Kou and his life. Okay, divorce. Yeah, yeah, essentially. Not even Akira? I mean, where else is there to sit in your room? Fucking gremlin. Yeah. Eh, let's say. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you manage your hunger, if you have a support system, then you're not gonna hurt anybody. I mean, Nazuna isn't just going around killing random people, is she? Indeed. That's also a good question. Hmm. Is it boring? Ah? What a chain of events. A true. Whatchamacallit? The machine with marbles knocked her down on the bed, turned off the lights. Everything happened at once. And there she goes. Okay, was she meeting her? No, not quite. No, that's just your wishes. Also, the visual illusion on this grate, this fence, the white dots on the Jesus. Illusory white dots. Yeah, how does she know that? For starters. Okay, how? Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's a question. Maybe the ones you've met. I mean, vampires do exist, so yeah. She knows an awful lot. Oh, that animation on her. Okay, she is much more freaky than any of the vampires we've met so far. She knows a lot about vampires. An awful lot. I mean, he can't live as a human right now. If he continues living as a human, then the vampires will kill him eventually. Yeah, I will kill them first. Of course. Okay. Okay. Resolve acquired. Call his parents. Or to the police. She is much more scary than any vampire. Like, Jesus Christ. Because she's a chain smoker. Oh shit, it's the cops. Okay, he managed to run from them. Yeah, an awful lot. And she's here. Yeah. Oh no, it's not Nazuna. It's this girl. What's she doing here? Hmm. Color me intrigued. Okay, that's a cliffhanger if I've ever seen one. Hmm. This episode really feels like not really its own episode. Not in a bad way, mind you. It feels like a little bit of a blur between episode 11 and episode 13. Kind of a transition between them. I don't mind it at all. But yeah, it doesn't really feel like its own episode. After credits scene? No, no after credits scene. Yeah, what I meant is, can I get a window capture on Paint? Oh no, I'm gonna switch views. Yeah, there's not gonna be anything after credits. No, nothing after credits. Okay, so there we go. MS Paint. This episode feels like full color. Episode 11. Episode. Fuck. Episode 11. Episode 13. And today's episode was like this. A little bit of dithering between those two. This is today's episode. This is episode 12. That's what it feels like to me. Perhaps would have been better shown in like GIMP or something, because I could actually blur between the layers, the colors, but dithering will have to do. You know what I mean, in any case. Sorry, I'm still not entirely fine. Yeah, how about now we go through this episode again, then, shall we? Yes, we shall. Doubt. A lot of doubt. Can the menu disappear, please? Thank you. Doubt and resolve. Those are the two main themes of today's episode. Doubt and resolve. A lot of doubt in Kou. A lot of doubt, question mark, in Mahiru? Maybe. I don't know, hard to tell. She's really trying to bring Mahiru to her side, isn't she? She really has a gripe against vampires in the first place. Right? I wonder where it stems from. Did she meet a vampire in the past, perhaps? Is she a failed vampire? Actually, I'm gonna note it down because I have a feeling that she might be a failed vampire, meaning that she was bitten but never fell in love. And thus she's immune to being a vampire, and that's why her blood tastes so bad, if it's not because of her chain smoking. The detective is a failed vampire. Bitten, but never fell in love. That's my assumption so far. I don't know how true is that gonna be, but that's what assumptions are. Right? We're not sure of them. Can't wait any longer. How can you say no to a girl who's steaming out of her mouth saying she can't wait any longer. Well, Kou can say no, of course. Also, is that a new top that she has? Think so. I didn't see purple on her before. I think it's a new top. I was pretty close to losing it completely. Snap the memory of a dude losing it completely. This is amazing. Like, genuinely amazing. I'm in awe. What happened? Just tell me about it. No beating around the bush. Like you sometimes, I wanted to say sometimes, but as you often see in anime or manga, or it's mostly prevalent in anime and manga. What's wrong? Oh, nothing. No, I see something's wrong. Oh no, it's nothing. And then you have like 17 motherfucking chapters of the manga. That's just a misunderstanding. That's just one person not talking about something to the other person, and the situation spinning out of control because everybody sucks at communicating. Apparently, fucking hate that. Fucking love this. Because, yeah, she didn't just hand wave it, seeing, oh, Kou must be, I don't know, having some issue, it will pass. Kou isn't trying to double down on saying, oh no, it's nothing, it's just I saw a mosquito, I saw a spider, I get scared, usual bullshit like that. No, they're talking about it. And Kou isn't hiding anything. He's not saying, oh, well, a friend of my friend had an encounter with a dragged up homeless person and was attacked and was scared of that, right? He's not trying to bullshit his way. He just says straight, yo, there was a feral vampire that attacked my friends. What the fuck is the deal with that? And he gets a straight answer. He was just plain starving. Yeah, like, thank you. Communication. I love it. Yeah, he couldn't control his need to feed. If you were starving for 10 years straight, you wouldn't be able to control your urge to eat. Would you ever get like that? Probably not, because she's eating regularly. If not from you, then she will find someone else for her cuddle buddy business, and she will suck the blood out of them, and she will not be starving, and thus she will not attack anybody. It's the nature versus nurture kinda deal, where the nature of a vampire is a monster that attacks other people purely on instinct, but through nurture, they can be integrated into society. They are integrating themselves into society. Yeah, I like it. I love it. Also, again, we see the example of every time there's vampires, there's night, there's Nazuna, colors are vibrant, and there's a lot of colors everywhere. And compare it to the scene with the detective lady. Everything's muted, everything's in sepia. Very similar to daytime colors. It really shows us clearly what's good here and what's bad. What should we root for and what should we reject? Is it really possible for a human to kill a vampire? That's a good question. And that makes me doubt. That makes me doubt a little. Is it truly silver and sunlight that kills vampires? Or is it some hidden desire to die? And silver is just a catalyst. If a vampire wants to live, if a vampire has something to live for, they can get through daylight, they can get through silver, they can get through garlic, and nothing's gonna kill them. But once they lose their attachment to life, they can easily be killed by either. I wonder if that's the case. I wonder if that's the case. Vampires are susceptible to silver light, etc. only if they lose attachment to life. I wonder if that might be the case. Because we know that Nazuna didn't burn in sunlight. So perhaps it's her attachment to life that allows her to do that. She's been looking forward to seeing Kou. She's been looking forward to screwing around at night. She's been looking forward to living. So she can live. That dude was just counting the days until he can die. So once he was granted an opportunity to die, he took it. I wonder if it's all in the head. If you're looking forward to being killed with silver, then silver will kill you. If you're like, silver, what the fuck even is that? I wanna live, then silver isn't gonna do shit to you. I wonder if that's gonna be it. Emperor just worked up emotionally. Yeah. Kou is showing an awful lot of emotional maturity. For someone who cannot fall in love, well, that sounded wrong, because sure, there are people who are completely aromantic or asexual or a whatever, and can have emotional maturity, but it's interesting that he's so incredibly mature for his age. And I love this scene. Yeah, I'm okay now. He's burying his neck as an invitation, and Nazuna, she didn't have to unbutton her jacket. She didn't have to do that, but she did. And it's just so extra, and I love it. And yeah, this is important. Now that I've identified the fear within me, I can manage that emotion. Knowledge is power. When it comes to human psychology, really, honestly, genuinely, knowledge is power. It's even known from the very extreme cases of people with bipolar disorder, or people with schizophrenia, or some hallucinatory disorders, or things like that. If they know what's going on, they can manage it. They can know that, oh, I feel like I'm getting a little too worked up. Maybe it's my manic episode coming, and I know how to manage that, right? I'm hearing voices in my head. I'm looking around my apartment, there's nobody here. Okay, I know that I'm suffering auditory hallucinations, that must be it. And I have ways to cope with that. And even on a very much smaller scale, once you recognize the mechanisms, the things, the motions you're going through, right? You can manage them. If you know that, hey, I have depression, depression makes me want to stay in bed all the time, and I've woken up and I want to stay in bed. That's my depression talking. I should get out. And that gives you a little bit of motivation, and that gives you tools that you can use, and gives you the knowledge of when to use those tools. And it's similar with emotions, with fear, with love, with sadness. Once you know what causes them, once you know why they are there, you can manage them. You can suppress them, you can latch onto them, you can do whatever you want. I adore the psychological themes in Yofukashi no Uta. Honestly, genuinely. And why is Mahiru bringing her flowers? Is that the lady he's been going out? I don't think so. Is he like flower delivery? Or what's the deal with him? What's the deal with Mahiru? Also, the animation on her boobs. The boob squish. Well, not really animation, the art. Top notch. And yeah, why do you want to be a vampire? You got tired of all that, yeah? And yeah, Mahiru was brought onto the detective's side, essentially. She reinforced his belief that vampires are monsters. It's a mechanism. I forgot the name of it, but again, it's a psychological mechanism. It's not recency bias, it's like the other way around. The first information you hear is the information you are more inclined to believe, right? Kou's first contact with vampires was Nazuna and Nazuna's friends, or, well, Nazuna's fellows. So his perception of vampires is positive. And the dude who was attacking them was an exception. Was a deranged individual, starving, and vampires aren't like that. Vampires are all nice people, right? Meanwhile, Mahiru's first contact with a vampire was the feral one. So his perception is, okay, even if there are some nice vampires out there, what guarantee do you have that they aren't gonna go feral? Right? And if you become a vampire, how can you tell you're not gonna become feral? Because that's his first experience. And I'm assuming the detective lady, if not acting out of malice, because I'm not excluding that possibility, her first contact, and perhaps only contact with a vampire, was also a feral individual like that. Perhaps some of her loved ones died to a vampire, or something like that happened. When it comes to malice, I'm guessing one possibility would be that maybe she wanted to become a vampire, but she wasn't given the chance because she couldn't fall in love, or something. Maybe she's similar to Kou, except while Kou is determined, she got bitter and resentful. But that's only assuming she's acting out of malice and not out of a preconception caused by the first vampire she had contact with being a feral. Yeah, is that what you want to be? No. Kou wants to be like Nazuna and her friends. He wants to be a social vampire. He wants to be normal, integrated into society, drinking beer at night and having sushi with friends. Not a feral guy closed off in a classroom and going mad with hunger. I didn't want to get in the way when you were trying to change your image, whether we'd be able to talk like we used to. Oh, we're totally still friends. What is it you want to do by becoming a vampire? And yeah, Kou is questioning, of course. Why do I want it? Because there's freedom? Am I not free now? Yeah, that's the thing. Sure, he is free now, but it's about permanence. It's about the permanence of freedom. He is free now when he's in high school, but when he's of the age that he should be out of high school and he's still going out at night, okay, maybe he can be a NEET and his mother can support him all this time. Or maybe he can find some odd jobs. Maybe he can work at Nazuna's cuddle body place or something, right? But what if his mom is no longer there and cannot support him? What then? He can't just go fucking around at night because he will lose a place to live. He will not be able to afford food. He will not be able to afford rent. Right? If he becomes a vampire, he gains the permanence. Not only permanence, but also gains a. Okay, I wanted to say that he also gains a support group in the form of the Vampire Society, but as a human, he would have his friends and whatnot. So that's not an either or. But yeah, as a vampire, he gains the permanence of freedom. He doesn't have to worry about eating because he can go up to 10 years without eating. He doesn't have to worry about a place to stay because he can stay just wherever. He doesn't have to fear about falling ill because vampires are immortal. He doesn't have to worry about, I don't know, about, whatchamacallit, insurance when he breaks a leg because his leg will just grow back up. Uh, it will just heal itself if it gets broken up at all because vampires are incredibly resilient. He gains the freedom, permanent freedom from everything. Freedom that lasts, freedom that doesn't end with the moment you finish high school. Right? Am I not free now? You are, but it won't last long. It's something I've been battling with myself, honestly. There was a time, a couple of years, kind of ashamed to admit it, but it's a reality and it happens to many of us, that I was a NEET. Like, straight up. I'm ready to admit it. And did I feel the freedom of just being a NEET, of being able to do whatever, whenever, of being able to sleep 11 hours straight and then play games for 20 hours? Yeah, hell yeah, I liked that freedom. But then a realization hit me that it's not sustainable, right? When right, when I was, it was like in high school. So sure, my mom was able to support me. There was also my grandma still alive and with us that she was able to support us. Essentially, two incomes for a household. So two incomes were able to support a dude that just needs something to eat and a connection to internet to live. No bigger expenses there. But then I came to a realization that eventually I'm not gonna have that safety net. Everybody dies. Everybody gets sick. Who's to say that my mom isn't gonna lose her job? Like, knock on wood, right? But who's to say that's not gonna happen? And what then? No money for rent, no money for food. What the fuck are we gonna do? Live under the bridge? And that hit me. And I would love to have the permanence of freedom. But alas, I'm not a vampire, I don't know any vampires, so I had to get a job eventually. And I don't mind my job. Sure, I would rather not have it, but I understand why I need it. I need that safety net. I need my own safety net that I myself am responsible for. And yeah, just something that came to my mind from my experience. The feeling of temporary freedom and permanent freedom. Excuse me for a moment, I need to grab a bottle of water. And I'm back. Yeah, the permanence of freedom. That's what Kou stands to gain here. It's not like I'm going to school, I wander around at night. It's not gonna last forever. That's the thing. Why did I want to become one again? Because of Nazuna? Yeah, I'm hanging out with Nazuna despite not being a vampire. Yeah, I hang out with Nazuna because I want to become a vampire. Not, it's not that I want to become a vampire to hang out with Nazuna, it's the other way around. Because I want to fall in love? No, it's the other way around. I want to fall in love to become a vampire, not become a vampire to fall in love. Indeed. So why? He doesn't know. Well, later he learns that it's because of his love for the night. Are you not going to. Yeah. Are you going to drink innocent people's blood, or are you not going to drink and end up mad? Or he can find someone that he doesn't have to trick to drink their blood. That's a possibility, right? The way Nazuna has Kou, Kou can have someone else like that. And even if he tricks people to suck their blood, what of it? Like, sure, I understand the concept of consent, and drinking blood is non-consensual if the other person didn't agree to that, but ultimately, what's the harm? It's not like he's gonna be killing those people. It's not like everybody is gonna turn into a vampire immediately. They're just gonna lose a little bit of blood. And technically, any vampire can suppress their hunger for up to 10 years. So, what if Kou drinks someone's blood once a month or once a week? It's entirely possible to drink blood from someone else every time. So again, what's the harm? It's kind of a theme of like consent here, because sure, again, as I mentioned, drinking blood without consent, but ultimately, what's the harm? That's what I wanted to say. Or are you not going to drink anyone's blood and lose control and become that thing? Well, preferably not. Yeah, you don't have to know the answer now, but I want you to think about it. And yeah, everybody needs a hug every now and then. I miss hugs. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm gonna be honest. There's like once a year, maybe an occasion, maybe like 2 times a year, when I actually have a chance to hug someone. There's like a local convention where I meet one of my friends from high school. Once a year, we meet on that convention. On the first day, when we greet each other, we hug. On the last day, when we part ways, we hug. Those are my 2 yearly hugs. Sometimes, when it's like maybe my birthday or maybe Christmas or something, I might get a hug from my aunt. So make that 3 times a year. You're kind of starved for that eventually, especially when you're in a extremely vulnerable state of mind the way Kou is, and he just needs some comfort. Yeah, he just needs comfort. And finds comfort in Nazuna. Tell me, what am I thinking right now? That's a great line. He himself doesn't know what he's thinking. That's a cool apartment, I guess. No PC. Interesting. Oh no, there's a laptop. Of course, Nazuna is looking for porn and used tissues. Mom is at work and the father is not here since the divorce. Interesting. I wonder if that's gonna become important eventually. Something like maybe the father became a vampire. I wonder. Probably not. But, I mean, the possibility is here. Also nice to have a little bit of insight into Kou's life, right? The father is absent, mother works long hours, so it's no wonder that he can sneak out at night, and there's nobody to keep an eye on him. And yeah, the situation is like from your everyday usual rom-com manga, but it's not your everyday usual rom-com manga. So we're talking about certainty, about becoming a vampire. And yeah, every normal person would give up becoming a vampire in favor of his friends, but can't you have both? Can't you be a vampire and still hang out with Akira and Mahire? What's stopping you? Like, genuinely. Right now, Kou is living at night. Him becoming a vampire wouldn't change that. And right now, he can hang out with Akira and Mahire. So if he becomes a vampire, he can still hang out with them. Nothing changes. Except him being a vampire, but at the surface level, that's not a change at all. Because it's not like he's gonna immediately attack Mahiro and attack Akira and suck their blood and turn them into vampires or kill them or anything like that. No. He will be a vampire, but he will still be Kou. He will still be Yamori-ko. Anyway, why become a vampire? The night is free. It's like a whole different world, and people can be different there too. Indeed. I've started seeing that it's not all just fun, because there are feral vampires, for example. Because you acknowledge all of my emotions, yeah? One thing if it's just me, but if I were to hurt my friends, who's to say you're gonna hurt your friends, though? Like, I understand the fear, right? Fear doesn't have to be rational. But he doesn't have to hurt his friends. It's not like you're that eager to make me your offspring anyway. I mean, it's not up to Nazuna, it's up to you entirely, so... And he's correct that even if I don't become a vampire, we can still hang around until it's time to snap his neck because he knows too much. That's an issue. And of course, Nazuna is a little bit sad because she wants a friend to hang around with. Why do you think the night felt so fun to you? Because it's unusual, because it's not ordinary. Your ordinary is daytime and school, yeah. And the nighttime is exhilarating. But slowly, the thing that isn't ordinary becomes ordinary. Right? Can he really say that being out at night is an event, is something extraordinary, if he's out at night every day? Or every night, should I say? Or is it the new normal? That doesn't take into account one thing, though. It doesn't take into account individual feeling of extraordinary and a societal thing of being extraordinary. Sure, by his own standards, what he's doing right now is ordinary for him. But from the point of view of a wider society, it's still very much extraordinary. And that might be the drive here. I know that for me, personally, that's also a little bit of the drive, a little bit of that, that high, you could say, that, oh, I'm living in a non-24-hour adjacent day-night cycle, right? I sleep 10 hours and then I'm up for 20. I'm denying society. I'm special. I'm unusual, right? It was my normal, but it still felt good because it was big middle finger to the society. And that's also one of the drives that you can have. Anything out of the ordinary never lasts for long, yeah, but if you're an immortal vampire with superpowers, you can create extraordinary for yourself. You have bigger possibilities of creating extraordinary. It's the same thing with, like, I don't know, being a millionaire. Sure, being a millionaire might eventually get boring if you never do anything with your millions, but if you use those millions to, I don't know, go scuba diving in the Antarctic because it sounds like fun, if you use those millions to build a school and be a principal because you have a fancy to be a principal of a school, that's extraordinary. If you use those millions to start a radio station or a TV station or to buy a company that makes toothbrushes and have them make double-sided toothbrushes or whatever, that's extraordinary. You have the possibilities. The same goes for being a vampire. You can create your own extraordinary. You can go and dive without scuba gear, probably, and have fun. You can go visit the Antarctic and have fun. You can tour the world on foot and across the ocean just swimming because you have the stamina and the endurance and the power of a vampire. You can do so many things that a regular human cannot. Like, sure, you can just succumb to complete hopelessness, that I'm a vampire and I spend entire days playing games, but you don't have to. You have the possibilities, you just have to use them. Being a vampire is just boring. Being a vampire is just boring. I think it might be just Nazuna, that she's not seeking the thrill. She's not seeking anything to not be bored. She's just okay with being bored, and she just succumbed to that. She just gave up, and she's just playing games all the time and never does anything interesting. I'm sorry I lied to you. Probably not. I have a feeling that Nazuna might be lying here a little bit, or maybe not saying the whole truth, to maybe spare Kou some internal turmoil, to maybe convince him to not be a vampire because she knows that he's uncomfortable with it, and she's trying to say, no, being a vampire completely sucks here, because she cares about him. I wonder if that might be the case. I just wait for time to pass as I spend each shallow, meaningless day. That's depression. Like, straight up. That's depression. Your days blur, they merge together. You cannot remember what happened. I had a pretty heavy depressive episode in high school when I've been out of commission for like 2 years. That's when I was in NEET, as I mentioned, and I cannot remember anything from those 2 years. Because every day is just a blur. It just happens and you're just trying to pass time. That's like book example of a depression. She can seek out whatchamacallit, she can seek out the things to do, new experiences, but she doesn't. Why did you try to show me just the fun stuff? Maybe because that's how I wanted it to be, and that's how it was. Like, that's the thing here. She created all those thrilling moments because she wishes that this is how being a vampire would be. Well, this is how being a vampire was. She wishes she went out to the night pool because she wishes that as a vampire she was able to go out to the night pool. Well, she is. It's kind of a weird logic here. I guess just a little bit. It's as if she's not seeing that she has the power to change things. That's cool. That's interesting because it shows us that it's not just Kou who has issues. It's also Nazuna, and they can help each other. It's not just Nazuna that can bring Kou out of his slump, but also Kou that can bring Nazuna out of hers. If Kou now decided to not be a vampire, Nazuna would go back to just playing games. And that's it. They are helping each other. And yeah, this is a whole, whatever you want to call it, machine. Rube Goldberg machine. I think that's the name. Yeah, Rube Goldberg. Nazuna falls down. The remote control for the lights falls down. The lights turn off. Kou falls down on top of Nazuna. Fucking Rube Goldberg, I swear. Thought I was gonna kiss you. Now I'm just gonna lick your neck. And she's disappeared. And again, this moment with Nazuna. Bright, vibrant colors. Detective, sepia. Entirely muted and unfun situation. And yeah, the illusion. If you look at this screen, this scene, You see like white dots appearing on the crossings of those black lines. It's fucking with my eyes. How much do you know about me? She knows an awful lot. I only wonder how. How does she know he wants to be a vampire? How does she know how old he is? Was she staking him out? Was she following him? That would explain why she knows how old he is and that it's a single mother household. That what his hobbies are. Sure, but the thing about vampires, was she following him? That would be the only explanation. Vampires are evil from the human perspective, of course. The ones you were in contact with, perhaps. Humans causing misfortune for other humans is inevitable. People living among other humans, you can't avoid conflict. But vampires weren't meant to exist. That's a very bold statement. Extremely bold statement, in fact. Yeah, like humans hurting other humans, that's fine. But a vampire hurting humans, oh, we're gonna have a problem. A little bit of double standards there, but I'm guessing they're stemming from her bad experiences with vampires. Perhaps she had experience only with the feral ones. That would be my assumption. I can't allow misfortune that never should have existed. Vampires never should have existed. But I have a feeling that vampires have existed for millennia. It's not something that just appeared out of nowhere a decade ago. Vampires were here. You can't say that they never should have existed. It's like saying that, I don't know, mosquitoes never should have existed, or bears never should have existed, or hippos, because they're killing so many people, hippos never should have existed. You can't go with that logic. It's flawed. Vampires only ever make people unhappy. Well, Nazuna made Kou really happy on multiple occasions. Yeah, can you say for sure that... yeah, that you'll be able to drink human blood? I'm assuming the taste buds change a little and you get a craving for human blood, and... or is it like purely a mental block of drinking the blood hurting someone innocent? I'm assuming that's the angle here. But out of the possibility of drinking someone innocent's blood every now and then versus killing all of your friends in a blind rage, I'd rather drink someone's blood. This is also interesting. She knows exactly how much contact he had with Nazuna. And considering you haven't fallen in love yet, she knows that as well. And she's going full, yeah, you might be asexual. Interesting. I wonder if that's the case, or if Kou is eventually gonna fall in love. Also, holy animation. And expressions. God damn. You definitely wouldn't get to be a vampire, but that's good. I don't want you to be a vampire. There's no need for me to convince you. You will not be a vampire anyway, and that's what I want. But oh, there's a problem. Because the vampires are gonna hunt you now. You know about their existence. She's just completely mad in this scene. Like, genuinely. Not once have I been scared of vampires in this show. Not once have they given me a reason to be apprehensive. Not once have they given me a reason to not want a vampire goth GF. This bitch right here, she's making me uncomfortable. Amazing. Like, even with the feral vampire, I had the feeling that he could have been integrated, right? give him some blood to drink, and then teach him about the possibilities. He drank blood, so he's no longer feral. He no longer has the urge. He no longer has the primal instinct driving him, and now you can explain to him what the fuck the deal is, and he can be just a regular human being, except a vampire. Even him attacking Akira and attacking her and behaving completely feral, he was still redeemable. He still was giving me the feeling of he doesn't want to hurt, he just doesn't know any better. And he can be taught. He can be integrated. She's just giving me absolutely creepy vibes. She even knows Nazuna's name. How? You can live as a human or become a vampire and get killed by me. And yeah, I'll kill every single one of them. Do we have a villain? Do we have a villain in our series? I think we might. And this is the breaking point for Kou. This is the moment he gains resolve. That no, vampires aren't evil. The dude we saw was just a fluke. He was turned and left to his own devices. He's the victim here. He's the victim. Whoever turned him and didn't stick around to explain being a vampire, that's the perpetrator. That's the evil person. The dude was just a victim. And yeah, you can't. They've integrated themselves. They live among us. Among us, sus. Sorry, couldn't help myself. And they have something akin to respect for humans. Yeah. They have the ability to understand people's vulnerabilities. They are just like humans, even better because they're empaths. They have blood empathy and whatnot. And yeah, this really shows me that she's a villain. Righteous villain. She feels what she's doing is righteous. But she's not gonna stop at anything. Just calling police to get him in trouble. Not even to, like, safeguard him. Not even to keep him safe, mind you. Because he is safe with his vampire friends. She's doing it to get him in trouble. That's the sole reason. Yeah, he didn't manage to ask about anything, sure, but no wonder, and also I doubt she would have told him anything, honestly. Also interesting how she knows so much about Nazuna and didn't try to pull anything. She's all about, oh, I will kill all the vampires. How come she didn't sign up for a cuddle buddy session and just stabbed Nazuna with a silver needle or something, right? She could have done that, but she didn't. And that leads me to believe vampires are susceptible to silver light, etc. only if they lose attachment to life. Theory. Nazuna's attachment is Kou. That's why she's trying to keep them separate. That's why she's trying to push the wedge between them. Because if Kou is out of the picture, Nazuna goes back to life is boring, I'm just existing, I'm just vegetating, why even live? And she becomes susceptible. She becomes weak to silver and sunlight and whatnot. I wonder if that's the case. I wonder if the detective lady is just playing some 5-dimensional chess here. I think it might be the case. She investigated me quite a bit, yeah. Yeah, I wanna talk with her, I wanna meet her, I wanna see her. It's not Nazuna, but it's Nazuna's friend. And what does she want here? Something wrong with Nazuna? Did she disappear? Is she sulking around in a corner and they need Kou to cheer her up? Or what's going on? Or did Nazuna tell the rest of the vampires about the detective lady and now they want to question Kou about her? Or what's going on? Huh. Hmm. I'm trying to pick some decent lighting for my face. I guess this is fine. Ah. Well, that was episode 12 of Yofukashi no Uta. And although not much has happened quantitatively, I keep repeating that, and maybe I'm just completely wrong, but a lot of importance has happened. Um, like a lot, a lot. A lot of things came to a resolution, kinda. A lot has happened in our characters mentally. Kou, first questioning and wavering, now found some resolve that vampires aren't evil. Perhaps he doesn't know why he wants to become a vampire yet, but he knows that he wouldn't mind being a vampire because vampires are fine actually. Because vampires aren't all monsters. That one dude was just a fluke. He steeled his resolve. He steeled his belief that vampires aren't monsters. Nazuna isn't just gonna randomly attack my friends. If I get turned into a vampire, I'm not gonna kill Akira in a fit of blind rage. That's not how it works. So he knows that, and he steeled himself in that belief. Nazuna, however, seems shaken a little. She's no longer. I mean, I don't want to say she's no longer that fun and cheery and bubbly girl that she used to be, but you can say that she was affected by Kou saying that he doesn't know anymore. You can see that absolutely, how she doesn't want to meet his gaze, how she's just staring down and saying, yeah, I lied to you, being a vampire is boring actually. I wanted to make it fun, but it's not fun. She just spiraled down back into depression, essentially. That's like the best comparison I can have here. That Nazuna is depressed, and meeting Kou was the chance for her to do something fun, to get out of the slump. And now that it's possible that Kou might no longer be interested, well, back to my depression then I go, playing Mario Kart alone because I have no friends, right? Kou is getting, I don't want to say better, but he's getting more comfortable in the situation he's in. And he's getting more active instead of passive. Instead of being dragged around by Nazuna, he's proactive. He's meeting up with the detective lady to try to figure out what the fuck the deal is. He wants to actively meet with Nazuna. He really tries to do something here. Meanwhile, Nazuna is kind of slumping back into just disappearing somewhere, giving him the last kiss, essentially, taking the last taste of him, and then just disappearing into the night. A little bit of a role reversal. At the beginning, it's Nazuna who helped Kou, and I have a feeling now it might be Kou who helps Nazuna. So that's gonna be interesting on like a character level. Another thing, Mahire. We now have a conflict in the friend group. We now have a friend, one person of the group, convinced that vampires are evil, that vampires are bad, and you should not be a vampire. Vampires are monsters. What the fuck are you doing, Kou? And that creates tension. A lot of tension. We don't know what Akira's experience is. She wasn't shown in this episode. We don't know if she treated the attack by the vampire as something out of the ordinary, because she knows Nazuna and she knows that Nazuna is fine. Nazuna isn't some feral vampire that attacks indiscriminately. So now she has equal experience with either kind of a vampire. Does she also believe now that all vampires are evil? Or does she still hold the belief, or does she form the belief that vampires can go either way? Does she still support Kou in his dream of becoming a vampire, or is she now against it? We don't know that. We don't know what effect the attack had on her. Hmm. And the detective, she knows way too much. Like, it's not even fun, it's scary how much she knows. Kou's private life, okay, whatever, sure. But all of the details about the meeting with Nazuna, about his dream of becoming a vampire, how does she know that? How? Like, the only explanation I can get is that if I were to rewatch the entirety of the series and pay extreme attention to the crowds, you would see her somewhere in the background, standing there just casually when Kou proclaims that he wants to be a vampire to Nazuna, and she just hears it by chance, by accident. But besides that, it's scary. She's scary. Scarier than any vampire. Because we know that vampires are reasonable, right? Vampires can be reasoned with. You can talk with them, and they are just normal people, essentially, except they drink blood, and that's the only difference. And have superpowers, I guess. But the detective lady, she's hell bent on just destroying vampires. Vampires cannot be good. Vampires are the root of all evil. Vampires should be destroyed and killed, and you cannot be a vampire. I will not allow that. I will destroy and kill every single one of them. She cannot be reasoned with. Not a chance. And that's what makes her scary. She is more feral, more animalistic than the vampires we've seen. Because she has a single track mind of just vampire means evil, means kill. It's not instinct that drives her, but her conviction, or whatever you want to call it. And she cannot stray from that path. She won't allow herself to stray from that path. That makes her much more scary than any of the vampires. I wonder if it's a rise of a villain that will be recurring throughout the series, should there be a season 2 or in the manga, and attempting to kill Nazuna or other vampires. Are we gonna get in that direction? Or is she gonna be turned eventually and see that not all vampires are evil actually? Or is she gonna die? Or is she gonna kill one of the vampires and then vampires are gonna proclaim war on her? Is that what's gonna happen? We know now that this series doesn't stray from killing people. The feral vampire dude just fucking died. I wonder where we're going with it. I can see the shift in direction. A little bit, very subtle. Maybe not subtle at this point, but it happened in a subtle way. We didn't just get one episode where it was a cutoff. Here's where the slice of life ends, here's where the battle shonen starts, or whatever. But you can definitely see the shift from just screwing around at night and having fun at the night pool and a little bit of psychological themes between our characters to just a real threat to their lives. I cannot wait for the next episode. I cannot wait to see what was the reason that this vampire lady called out for Kou. Why did she seek him out? Is it something with Nazuna? or maybe Akira seeked them out and she wants to become a vampire now, or do they have questions about the detective lady? Did the detective lady kill one of their ilk, or what the fuck happened? Fuck cliffhangers. uh, yeah, I think that's it. I've been talking for an hour and a half already. Jesus, that's way too long. It's way longer than I planned on talking. Uh, I can't wait for the next episode. I'm excited, and I'm also afraid. I'm afraid about what's gonna happen because so far this show gave me a sense of security. That okay, vampires exist, but there aren't really any vampire hunters, any werewolves. It's just fun little show showing us the beauty of the night, showing us fun stuff to do, a little bit of psychological themes, but mostly just fun and giggles. But now I'm afraid for the lives of the characters. Bit of a shift, dare I say. I'm equal parts excited and afraid, and mostly also because the next episode is gonna be the finale, and what's gonna be the finale? Kou being turned, finding the conviction, finding the love in him to be turned. Is it gonna end with I don't fucking know, Nazuna dying, Akira dying? What's gonna be the ending? I don't know. I wanna see it. It's kind of like a train wreck. You're afraid of a piece of debris hitting you, but you can't tear your eyes off. Not a train wreck in the sense that it's a bad anime. On the contrary, it's amazing. Probably the best season that I've seen. But bad things might happen, but I still want to see it. I still have the morbid curiosity. Yeah, I think we're gonna end it here, but maybe you guys have something to add, and if so, do that in the comments down below. What did you think of this episode, of my reaction, my theories, stuff like that? No spoilers, please don't spoil me anything. I know the manga is way past this point, and if you've read it, no spoilers. If you do want to talk spoilers, Discord here, also link in the description. Join it. There's Yofukashi channel there where you can talk spoilers to your heart's content, because you can use spoiler tags on Discord and you can't use them on YouTube. Like this video if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it, but tell me why so I can improve. Subscribe to the channel to be notified of future releases of not only Yofukashi no Uta but also Symphogear. Symphogear, we're gonna be watching concert live, so might want to subscribe for that. Also, Madoka Magica Overlord Season 4, Hataraku Mausama Season 2, Ruby Ice Queendom has concluded, but I might start watching the series proper eventually. And there will be new seasonals coming up, so stay subscribed to know what are they gonna be and to be notified of the live stream that I'm gonna be holding sometime in the coming weeks. Support the channel if you want, monetarily on Patreon or Throne. On Patreon for $10 a month you get early access to non-seasonal shows like Symphogear, like Madoka Magica, like whatever else is gonna be coming in the future. For just $1 you get a role on the Discord, and you also get a place in the credits. On Throne you can pitch in directly towards my purchase of new lighting, better camera, stuff like that. And if you don't want to spend any money whatsoever, you can still help the channel a lot by sharing my content, spreading the word. The word of mouth really does help the growth of a channel. And with all of that out of the way, I think we can end this episode right here. So that's gonna be it from me for today. And as always, you guys do all the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers! And here's the credits I mentioned. You can be one of those people if only such is your desire.